in Lenox, Alabama. It is January 26, 2026, and it's chilly, 30 degrees outside, and going down to, what do you say, 20? Yeah, you Northerners are thinking, that's not cold. I understand, okay. It's cold to us, okay? So I got the thermal underwear on, not even gonna try to hide the sleeves tonight. Okay, let's see, we are on, Facebook. A bunch of people watch there, Rumble, X, I gotta take the Twitter out of there, Instagram, TikTok. Just sign up for all of them. They're all free. Get our own app, kenthovind.tv, and just tell your friends about our ministry. We want to help strengthen your faith in the Word of God. It's that simple. The Bible's true. Evolution is stupid. It's real simple. Not complicated at all. Okay, here we are, the 26th, Ahab part 2. All right, let's see. 10-year anniversary coming up in April. I'd like to get the ark finished. You can see that. Joseph, I got that picture in there. Look at that. Is this a tourist guide for Alabama? Things to see in Alabama. Look down here. Dinosaur Adventure Land. Oh, that's important to somebody somewhere. Yeah. Anyway, you see this one, Tyrannosaurus Rex? Come on now, RJ, that's funny. Okay. We're an old-fashioned, independent, temperamental, fundamental, right-wing, radical, chicken-eating Baptist church. We believe the Bible is true. Evolution is stupid. God made everything in 6 days. The flood of Noah explains all the layers we see in the earth. There's no such thing as a geologic column. There's no such thing as a fossil record. There are lots of fossils. That's all from the flood. None of them talk. None of them have a date on them. There is no record. It's just a bunch of fossils. You can interpret it several different ways, okay? Let's say we believe evolution is the dumbest and most dangerous cult in the world. So, no evidence for it. Prove me wrong. Call in, okay? Let's see, come join us for meals here. We have 3,000 meals a month we feed. Help us finish the ark. We need plumbers, electricians, carpenters, painters, lots of stuffed animals. We need lots of stuffed animals, pink one and a blue one, or put a ribbon on them like we did there. Okay, got a blacktop. Still no price on that, brother. I got to call those guys back. They're saying it's too cold. I don't want to blacktop anything. Okay, but it's going to be a bunch of money. If you want to help us blacktop around our Noah's Ark and get rid of some of the mud around here, please do. Okay, you can help us stay open for free. Join our 777 Club on drdino.com. Almost 10 years coming up in a couple months. So let's see. Let's go to slide number 1134. We left off our study of Ahab yesterday with the prophet Elijah under a juniper tree running from Ahab's wicked wife, Queen Jezebel. So here we are. He himself went a day's journey into the wilderness and came and sat down under a juniper tree and requested for himself that he might die. This is the man of God. God discouraged because a wicked woman was after him. He said, "It's enough now, O Lord, take away my life, for I'm not better than my fathers." And as he lay and slept under a juniper tree, behold, an angel touched him and said unto him, "Arise and eat." Angel reaches down, touches him. Have you ever run from God's will? Been out of God's will? Ever ended up under a juniper tree? Ever been bone tired and wanted to quit? Yeah. Ever needed a touch from God? So he looked, and behold, there was a cake baken on the coals, and a cruse of water at his head. And he did eat and drink and laid him down again. And the angel of the Lord came a second time and touched him, said, "Arise and eat, because the journey is too great for thee." This is interesting. Remember the cake and the cruse? Maybe God's reminding him of that widow, that sustained him. The meal never failed in the barrel, and the cruse of water, the cruse of oil never could get dry. And he arose and did eat and drink, and went in the strength of that meat 40 days and 40 nights unto Horeb, the mount of God. And he came thither unto a cave and lodged there. And behold, the word of the Lord came to him, and he said unto him, "What doest thou here, Elijah?" What are you doing here? He's running from God, running from Queen Jezebel. Now, this is interesting. Where is Mount Horeb? The Bible maps often show Mount Horeb, Sinai, down here in the Sinai Peninsula. This is baloney. I'm sorry. It's not true. No. Mount Sinai is over here in Arabia on the far right side. It should not even be called the Sinai Peninsula. That's not where Mount Sinai is. There's the mountains of Sinai right there, that red cluster. So when they crossed over the Red Sea, they crossed the Gulf of Aqaba, not the Gulf of Suez. We cover all that on video number 7, where they found the chariot wheels down there. Bible tells us Mount Sinai is in Arabia. There it is. Don't we have, Joy, we have some of the rocks from Mount Sinai in the Science Center, don't we? From the top, the black on one side. Is that burned? We got those from Mary Nell Wyatt. Yeah, okay. And as he arose, he did eat and drink and went in the strength of that meat 40 days. Okay. He came to a cave, and the Lord said, "What are you doing here?" Elijah, what are you doing here? And he said, I've been very jealous for the Lord God of hosts, and the children of Israel have forsaken thy covenant, thrown down thine altars, and slain thy prophets with the sword. And I, even I only, am left, and they seek my life to take it away. He's feeling kind of lonely. And he said, go forth and stand upon the mount before the Lord. And behold, the Lord passed by, and a great strong wind rent the mountains and brake in pieces the rocks before the Lord. But the Lord was not in the wind. And after the wind, an earthquake. But the Lord was not in the earthquake. See, Elijah is protesting to God. I faithfully served you, and look at the danger I'm in now. To Elijah and many servants of God since, it seemed unfair that a faithful servant of God should be made to suffer like this. He said, go forth and stand upon the mount before the Lord. And there passed by a great and strong wind, would break the rocks in pieces, and a great earthquake. But God was not in either one. After these displays, God appeared in a still small voice, a gentle, quiet whisper. This moment underscores a central biblical truth. God often speaks not through power and spectacle, but through quiet conversation. And some of you can't get quiet long enough for God to speak to you. You always got to have your phone or your tablet or your laptop or something. Always got to have your screen time. You don't give any God time. Anyway, so we had the earthquake, and then a fire, then a still small voice. You got the wind, the earthquake, the fire, and finally, the still small voice. And after the earthquake, a fire, he went out, stood there, and said, what are you doing here, Elijah? What doest thou here? It's in there twice in the Bible. What doest thou here? What are you doing? Running from God's calling for your life. Elijah, get back in the saddle again. He said, I've been very jealous for the Lord God of hosts, because the children of Israel have forsaken the covenant, thrown down thine altars, and slain thy prophets with the sword. And I, even I only am left alive, and they seek my life to take it. And the Lord said, go, return to the way of the wilderness of Damascus. When thou comest, anoint Hazael to be king over Syria. And Jehu, the son of Nimshi, shalt thou anoint to be king over Israel. And Elisha, we got Elijah here talking, and Elisha, the prophet of Shaphat, shall be anoint in thy room. You're losing your job, Elijah. You're done. You did your job. Now Elisha is going to take over. And Ben-Hadad, the king of Syria, gathered all his host together. There were 32 kings with him, and horses and chariots. And he went up and besieged Samaria and warred against it. And he sent messengers to Ahab, king of Israel, unto the city, and said, thus saith Ben-Hadad, thy silver and thy gold is mine, thy wives also, and thy children, even the goodliest, are mine. He's basically saying, you better just surrender, okay? And the king of Israel answered and said, my lord, O king, according to thy saying, I am thine and all that I have. So what do you know about this guy, King Ahab? He had a wicked father, Omri. He had a wicked wife, heathen woman Jezebel. He was one of the most wicked kings in Israel. He encouraged Baal worship. His sins brought God's judgment on the nation, like no rain for 3 years. He was rebuked by Elijah. He saw the miracle of God sending fire down to burn up the altar. He allowed his evil wife to go after the man of God. Even after that, he allowed his wife to do that. This guy's henpecked, I think. And the messengers came again and said, thus speaketh Ben-Hadad, although I have sent unto thee, saying, thou shalt deliver me thy silver and thy gold and thy wives and thy children, yet I will send my servants to thee tomorrow about this time, and they shall search thine house and the house of thy servants. And it shall be that whatsoever is pleasant in thine eyes, they shall put it in their hand and take it away. So the enemy king says, I'm going to search all your people's houses and take whatever we want. Then the king of Israel called all the elders of land and said, mark, I pray you, and see how this man seeketh mischief. And he sent unto me for my wives and my children, and for my silver and for my gold, and I denied him not. And all the elders and all the people said unto him, hearken not unto him, nor consent. Don't listen to that guy. We're going to fight. Wherefore he said to the messengers of Ben-Hadad, tell my lord the king, all that thou hast did send to me at the first, I will do. But this thing I may not do. And the messengers departed and brought him word again. And Ben-Hadad sent unto him and said, the gods do so to me, and more also, if the dust of Samaria shall suffice for handfuls of all the people that follow me. He's warning the king Ahab, we got a whole bunch of guys on our side. And the king of Israel answered and said, tell him, let not him that girdeth on his harness boast himself as he that putteth it off. That's a good sentence there. The one who's coming to the fight is always bragging. See how you are when the fight's over. You ever seen those guys brag about going to whoop Mike Tyson? Then after a couple of rounds, they're dragged out of the ring, black eyes. Yeah. Yeah. Came to pass when Ben-Hadad heard this message, he was drinking, he and the kings in the pavilions, that he said to his servants, set yourselves in array. And they set themselves in array against the city. Draw up your battle lines, okay? And behold, there came a prophet unto Ahab, king of Israel, saying, thus saith the Lord, hast thou seen all this great multitude? Behold, I will deliver it into thine hand this day, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord. God is trying to reach us, Ahab. He sees these miracles, and he just never quite gets it. And Ahab said, by whom? And he said, thus saith the Lord, even by the young men of the princes of the provinces. Then he said, who shall order the battle? And he answered, thou. This prophet is telling him, you're going to be in charge of the battle. Then he numbered the young men of the princes of the provinces. There were 232. And after them, he numbered all the people, even all the children of Israel, being 7,000. So he's got 7,000 men against Ben-Hadad with an army you can't even count. And they went out at noon, but Ben-Hadad was drinking himself drunk in the pavilions, he and his kings and the 32 kings that helped him. And the young men of the princes of the province went out first, and Ben-Hadad sent out, and they told him, saying, there are men come out of Samaria. And he said, whether they be come out for peace, take them alive, or whether they be come out for war, take them alive. Big mistake there, bud. And the king of Israel went out and smote the horses and chariots and slew the Syrians with a great slaughter. And the prophet came to the king of Israel and said, go, strengthen thyself, and mark and see what thou doest. For at the return of the year, the king of Syria will come again unto thee, against thee. And the servants of the king of Syria said unto him, their gods are gods of the hills. Therefore they were stronger than we. But let us fight against them in the plain, and surely we shall be stronger than they. They think God is only limited to the high points of life. Some of you think God can only bless you when everything's going good, the high spots in your life. Yeah. The gods of the hills. There's a song. Let's see. He saw the miracle of God sending a fire down to the altar. He allowed his evil wife to go after the man of God. God protected Ahab from the Syrians, not because he was good, but because the Syrians were more evil. God said, I'm going to deliver you, Ahab, but it ain't because of you. It's because the other guys are so evil, okay? Let's do this thing. Take the kings away, every man out of his place, and put captains in their rooms, and number thee an army like the army thou hast lost, horse for horse, chariot for chariot, and we will fight against them in the plain, and surely we shall be stronger than they. And he hearkened unto their voice and did so. And it came to pass at the return of the year that Ben-Hadad numbered the Syrians and went up to Aphek to fight against Israel. And the children of Israel were numbered and were all present, again, about 7,000 of them, and went out against them. And the children of Israel pitched before them like two little flocks of kids, but the Syrians filled the country. And there came a man of God and spake unto the king of Israel and said, thus saith the Lord, because the Syrians have said, the Lord is God of the hills, but he's not God of the valleys. Therefore, I will deliver all this great multitude into thine hand, and ye shall know that I'm the Lord. Ahab, God's trying to let you know who he is. You're not listening. And they pitched over one against the other 7 days. And it was so on the 7th day, the battle was joined, and the children of Israel slew of the Syrians 100,000 footmen in 1 day. That's not bad for an army of 7,000. Yeah, okay. There's a song, The God of the Mountain. Plug in and listen to that later tonight. God of the mountain. Love it. Life is easy when you're up on the mountain. You've got peace of mind like you've never known. But when things change and you're down in the valley, don't lose faith. You're never alone. And the God of the mountain is still God in the valley. When things go wrong, he'll make them right. And the God of good times is still God in the bad times. The God of the day is still God of the night. Great song. I recollect that right there. Right there. God on the mountain. Okay. Let's see. But the rest fled to Aphek. Remember, they killed 100,000 of them. Into the city. And there a wall fell upon 27,000 of the men that were left. And Ben-Hadad fled and came into the city into an inner chamber. He's hiding in the closet, okay? And his servants said unto him, behold now, we heard that the kings of the house of Israel are merciful kings. Let us, I pray thee, put sackcloth on our loins and ropes upon our heads, and go out to the king of Israel. Peradventure he will save thy life. And they girded sackcloth on their loins, that's gunny sack, okay? And put ropes on their heads, and came to the king of Israel, and said, thus thy servant Ben-Hadad saith, I pray thee, let me live. And he said, is he yet alive? He's my brother. Ahab, he's not your brother, he's your enemy. Ahab still doesn't get it. He still doesn't. And the men did diligently observe whether anything would come from him, and did hastily catch it. When they heard him say that, thy brother Ben-Hadad. Then he said, go ye bring him, and Ben-Hadad, and he caused him to come up into the chariot. And Ben-Hadad said to him, the cities which my father took from thy father, I will restore. And thou shalt make streets for thee in Damascus. We'll name our streets after you, as my father made in Samaria. Then said Ahab, I will send thee away with this covenant. So he made a covenant with him and sent him away. Some people do great cartoon work on this whole great way to teach kids is cartoons like this. Ahab and all the different battles. A good way to teach your children the basic Bible story. Okay. And certain man of the sons of the prophet said to his neighbor in the word of the Lord, smite me, I pray thee. And the man refused to smite him. Then he said to him, because thou hast not obeyed the voice of the Lord, behold, as soon as thou art departed from me, a lion shall slay thee. And as soon as he was departed, a lion found him and slew him. Then he found another man and said, smite me, I pray thee. And the man smote him, so that in smiting he wounded him. Must have got a bloody nose or something, okay? So the prophet departed and waited for the king by the way, and disguised himself with ashes upon his face. Usually when it says these sons of the prophets, it's people that are going to Bible college, basically. God's called them to be a leader, a Christian, theological leader, and they call it sons of the prophets, okay? And as the king passed by, he cried unto the king and said, thy servant went out to the midst of the battle, and behold, a man turned aside and brought a man unto me, and said, keep this man. If by any means he be missing, then thy life shall go for his life, or else thou shalt pay a talent of silver. And as the servant was busy here and there, he was gone. And the king of Israel said, so shall thy judgment be. Thou have decided it. So Ahab says, okay, pay a talent of silver or we're going to kill you. And he hasted and took away the ashes from his face, and the king of Israel discerned that he was one of the prophets. And he said unto him, thus saith the Lord, because thou hast let go out of thy hand a man whom I appointed to utter destruction. Therefore thy life shall go for his life, and thy people for his people. This is the prophet telling Ahab, now you blew it again, bud. And the king of Israel went to his house heavy and displeased, and came to Samaria. And it came to pass after these things that Naboth the Jezreelite had a vineyard, which was in Jezreel, hard by the palace of Ahab king of Samaria. And Ahab said to Naboth, spoke to Naboth, saying, give me thy vineyard, that I may have it for a garden of herbs, because it's near my house. And I will give thee for it a better vineyard. Or if it seem good to thee, I will give the worth of it in money. He wants to buy his property. And Naboth said to Ahab, the Lord forbid it me, that I should give the inheritance of my fathers to thee. See, in the Jewish tradition, you don't sell your inheritance. You got to keep it, okay? So he's asking, hey, can I buy your vineyard? No, of course I can't sell it. And Ahab came to his house heavy and displeased because of the word of Naboth the Jezreelite had spoken to him. He said, I will not give the inheritance of my father. And he laid him down upon his bed and turned away his face and would not eat. He's pouting. I can't have that vineyard. I'm going to cry. What an idiot. Jezebel, his wife, came and said, why is thy spirit so sad that thou eatest no bread? And he said, because I spoke to Naboth the Jezreelite and said to him, give me thy vineyard for money, or else if it please thee, I'll give thee another vineyard for it. And he answered, I will not give thee my vineyard. Oh, honey, don't be sad. I'll get the vineyard for you. This is wicked Queen Jezebel here, okay? Jezebel, his wife, said, dost not thou govern the kingdom of Israel? Arise, eat bread, and let thy heart be merry. I will give thee the vineyard of Naboth, the Jezreelite. So she wrote many letters in Ahab's name and sealed them with his seal, and sent the letters to the elders of the nobles of the city, dwelling with Naboth. And she wrote in the letters, saying, proclaim a fast and set Naboth on high among the people, and set 2 men, sons of Belial, worshipers of Baal worship, basically, before him to bear witness against him. Remember the Bible says, don't bear false witness? Saying, thou didst blaspheme God and the king. Then carry him out and stone him. I want you to, here's this wicked queen saying, find some people to bear false witness about Naboth, that you heard him blaspheme God and the king, which he did no such thing. And so he got arrested. This is the beginning of weaponized Justice Department. Remember Trump was big on that when they first came after him with everything they got? Ending the weaponization of the federal government. Donald Trump, they're weaponizing our justice system. Boy, they came after me for no crime whatsoever. Go back to February 1st of last year. Watch my open letter to Donald Trump. I know real uptight, okay, about the weaponized Justice Department. It's not justice, it's just ICE, okay? Justice system in America has been weaponized against President Trump. Tim Scott, weaponization of the justice system against Trump is something we find repulsive. The justice system in America has been weaponized against President Trump. That's what happened to Aaron in this case in Arkansas. The judge has already been letting this pedophile go many times, and now she's going to judge him whether it's okay for him to kill that guy with his 14-year-old daughter. Praise God, the court stepped in and got a new judge on that case. So we'll see about that, Joseph. Okay. Let's see. The American people have witnessed the previous administration engage in systematic campaign against its perceived political opponents. The weaponized Justice Department. I was a victim of it myself, okay? Trump, weaponization of the Justice Department, federal government. Trump's AG pick, Bondi, questioned about potential weaponization of Justice Department. Trump's pick questioned about potential weaponization. Yep, they do it. Use the Justice Department, ain't justice at all, right? Want to get somebody in jail? They can put him in jail for something. Let's see. Hearing before the Select Subcommittee on the Weaponization of the Federal Government. February 2 years ago. 3 years ago now. Weaponizing the Justice Department. University of Minnesota. Published 2020. AFPI. Unequal applying the law subverts justice for all. Is the government being weaponized against you? You can read all this some other time. Anyway, the men of the city, even the elders who were inhabitants, did as Jezebel sent to them, as it is written in the letters which she sent them. They proclaimed a fast and set Naboth on high among the people. And there came in 2 men, children of Belial, and sat before him. And the men of Belial witnessed against him. They lied, okay? Even against Naboth in the presence of the people, saying, Naboth did blaspheme God and the king, just like they lied about me. Hovind is a tax protester. I'm not a tax protester. If you owe a tax, you ought to pay it. They lied about me. And some of you guys on the Atheist channel are still lying, saying I went to jail for tax for defrauding the government. I did not. Quit lying. Well, you probably can't, okay? Your father, the devil, is a liar, and he makes you do that. Okay? So they stoned him with stones, and they sent to Jezebel, saying, Naboth is stoned and is dead. And it came to pass when Jezebel heard that Naboth was stoned and dead, she said to Ahab, arise, take possession of the vineyard. And he refused to give thee, which he refused to give thee for money, for Naboth is not alive, but dead. It came to pass when Ahab heard that Naboth was dead, Ahab rose up, he stopped pouting, to go down to the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite to take possession of it. And the word of the Lord came to Elijah the Tishbite. God's going to send his man to tell the truth. Arise, go down to meet Ahab, king of Israel, which is in Samaria. Behold, he's in the vineyard of Naboth, whither he has gone down to possess it. And thou shalt speak to him, saying, Thus saith the Lord, hast thou killed and taken possession? And thus thou shalt speak unto him, saying, Thus saith the Lord, in the place where the dogs lick the blood of Naboth, the dogs shall lick thy blood, even thine. What a prophecy. And Ahab said to Elijah, Hast thou found me, O mine enemy? And he answered, I found thee, because thou sold thyself to work evil in the sight of the Lord. And some of you have done the same thing. You've sold yourself to work evil. Behold, I will bring evil upon thee, and I will take away thy posterity, all your kids and grandkids, and will cut off from Ahab him that pisseth against the wall. That would be all the boys, okay? Girls can't do that. And him that is shut up and left in Israel. And I will make thine house like the house of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, and like the house of Baasha, the son of Ahijah, for the provocation wherewith thou hast provoked me to anger, and made Israel to sin. And Jezebel also, and of Jezebel spake the Lord, saying, The dogs shall eat Jezebel by the wall of Jezreel. What a prophecy. He that dieth of Ahab in the city, the dogs shall eat, and him that dieth in the field, the fowls of the air shall eat. But there was none like Ahab, which did sell himself to work wickedness in the sight of the Lord, whom Jezebel his wife stirred up. And he did very abominably in following idols, according to all things that the Ammonites did, whom the Lord cast out before the children of Israel. And it came to pass when Ahab heard these words, that he rent his clothes. That means he ripped them, okay? And put sackcloth upon his flesh and fasted, and lay in sackcloth and went softly. And the word of the Lord came to Elijah the Tishbite, saying, See how Ahab humbled himself before me. Because he humbled himself before me, I will not bring the evil in his days, but in his son's days will I bring the evil upon his house. And they continued 3 years without war between Syria. Remember, they just lost 127,000 men. And it came to pass in the 3rd year that Jehoshaphat, the king of Judah, came down to the king of Israel. So now remember, the northern kingdom is Israel, Ahab. The southern kingdom, Judah, is the two. Most of them were good kings, about half of them. None of the northern kingdoms had good kings. And the king of Israel said to his servants, know ye that Ramoth and Gilead is ours, and we be still, and take it not out of the hand of the king of Syria. And he said unto Jehoshaphat, wilt thou go with me to battle to Ramoth the Gilead? And Jehoshaphat said unto the king of Israel, I am as thou art, and my people as thy people, my horses as thy horses. This is called stupid. Don't join up with evil people to do evil. Somebody says, hey, let's go rob this car, let's go rob this bank, let's go rob these people. Stay away from people like that. Jehoshaphat said to the king of Israel, inquire, I pray thee, at the hand of the Lord today. Then the king of Israel gathered the prophets together, 400 men, and said unto them, shall I go up against Ramoth Gilead to battle, or shall I forbear? Should I not go? And they said, go up, and the Lord shall deliver it into the hand of the king. And Jehoshaphat said, is there not here a prophet of the Lord besides, that we may inquire of him? All 400 of these so-called prophets of the Lord are saying, yes, you better go. He said, isn't there one more? You know, somebody from a non-accredited Christian school we can trust, maybe? Yeah. And the king of Israel said to Jehoshaphat, there's yet one man, Micaiah, the son of Imaiah, by whom we may inquire of the Lord, but I hate him. For he doth not prophesy good concerning me, but evil. He never says anything good about me. And Jehoshaphat said, let not the king say so. Then the king of Israel called an officer. Hasten hither Micaiah, the son of Imaiah. And the king of Israel and Jehoshaphat, the king of Judah, sat each on his throne, having put on their robes in a void place in the entrance of the gate of Samaria. And all the prophets prophesied before them. And Zedekiah, the son of whatever his name is, made him horns of iron, and said, thus saith the Lord, with these shalt thou push the Syrians until you consume them. And all the prophets prophesied so, saying, go up to Ramoth Gilead and prosper, for the Lord shall deliver it into thy king's hand. And the messenger that was gone up to call Micaiah spake unto him, saying, behold, now the words of the prophets declare good unto the king with one mouth. Let thy word, I pray thee, be like the word of one of them, and speak that which is good. And Micaiah said, as the Lord liveth, what the Lord said to me, that will I speak. So he came to the king, and the king said, shall we go up to Ramoth Gilead to battle, or shall we forbear? And he said, go, prosper, for the Lord shall deliver it into the hand of the king. And the king can tell he's not saying what God really told him to say. And the king said, how many times shall I adjure thee that thou tell me nothing but that which is true in the name of the Lord? And he said, I saw all Israel scattered upon the hills, as sheep that have not a shepherd. And the Lord said, these have no master. Let them return every man to his house in peace. And the king of Israel said to Jehoshaphat, didn't I tell you that his would not prophesy good concerning me? I told you, don't call this guy. He said, hear thou, therefore, the word of the Lord. I saw the Lord sitting on his throne, and all the host of heaven standing by him, on his right hand and on his left. And the Lord said, who shall persuade Ahab that he may go up and fall at Ramoth Gilead? And one said in this manner, another in that manner. Then there came a spirit and stood before the Lord and said, I will persuade him. And the Lord said, wherewith? He said, I will go forth and be a lying spirit in the mouth of all these college professors. The mouth of all his prophets. And he said, thou shalt persuade him and prevail. Go forth and do so. Now, therefore, behold, the Lord hath put a lying spirit in the mouth of all these teachers. Prophets. And the Lord has spoken concerning evil concerning thee. But Zedekiah, the son of his dad, went near and smote Micaiah on the cheek and said, which way went the Spirit of the Lord from me to speak unto thee? And Micaiah said, behold, thou shalt see it in that day when thou shalt go into the inner chamber to hide thyself. And the king of Israel said, take Micaiah and carry him back to the Ammon, to the governor of the city, and to Joash, the king's son, and say, thus saith the king, put this fellow in prison and keep him there for 9 years. And feed him with bread of affliction and with water of affliction till I come in peace. And Micaiah said, if thou return in peace at all, the Lord hath not spoken by me. He said, hearken, people, listen, every one of you, listen. So the king of Israel and Jehoshaphat, king of Judah, went up to Ramoth Gilead, and the king of Israel said to Jehoshaphat, I will disguise myself and enter the battle, but put thou on thy robes. And the king of Israel disguised himself and went into the battle. But the king of Syria commanded his 32 captains that ruled over his chariots, Fight neither with small or great, save only with the king of Israel. We're going after this one guy. And it came to pass, when the captains of the chariots saw Jehoshaphat, they said, surely it's the king of Israel. And they turned aside to fight against him. And Jehoshaphat cried out, hey, not me. No, yeah. Big sissy, okay. And it came to pass, when the captains of the chariots perceived it was not the king of Israel, they turned back from pursuing him. And a certain man drew a bow at a venture and smote the king of Israel between the joints of the harness. Wherefore he said to the driver of the chariot, turn thy hand and carry me out of the host, for I am wounded. So just an arrow just hit him, okay, went right through where the armor has a joint. And the battle increased that day, and the king was stayed up in his chariot against the Syrians and died at even. And the blood ran out of the wound into the midst of the chariot. And there went a proclamation throughout the host about the going down of the sun, saying, every man to his city and every man to his country. Everybody go home, battle's over. So the king died and was brought to Samaria, and they buried the king in Samaria. And one washed the chariot in the pool of Samaria, and the dogs licked up his blood. Isn't that what the prophet prophesied would happen? Yeah. And they washed his armor according to the word of the Lord, which he spake. Now the rest of the acts of Ahab and all that he did, and the ivory house that he made, are they not in the book, written in the book of Chronicles, okay? So Ahab married wicked Jezebel. He allowed Baal worship into his kingdom. And some of you allow things in your home you should not allow in your home. You know what your kids are doing or watching on the phone and on the tablet? You know, are you allowing things in you allow them to curse in your home? He brought idols into Israel. He saw God send fire down, and he still didn't repent. He allowed Jezebel to kill the prophets of God. He rejected the prophet's warning. He tried to blame Elijah. He stole his neighbor's vineyard and had him killed. He listened to the 400 false false prophets instead of the real man of God. And some of you use that excuse, well, all the college professors believe in evolution. It doesn't matter. They're all wrong then, all of them, okay? I'm just one lonely Hovind guy. I'll take them all on. He died in battle, a wasted life. Wasted. Poor guy never did get it. Okay, questions or comments? It's freezing in here. We got to get out of here. Questions or comments, brother? Yeah, I got it. Let's see. Terry, did you hear about the preacher that spoke over an atheist funeral? All he could say was, he's all dressed up and nowhere to go. I love it. Oh, you got somewhere to go, all right. Yeah, but it ain't heaven. The Bible gives specifics as to what Noah and his family ate while on the ark. Does not. Before the flood, it says in Genesis chapter 1, after the flood, they got off the ark, they ate meat, perfectly fine. Okay. How did Noah manage to walk to Australia and back? Well, we don't think Noah went, just the kangaroos went. If you lower the oceans 200 feet, oceans average 12,000 feet deep. Lower the oceans 200 feet and freeze it. Stick it all on the North Pole. In other words, if you make larger ice caps at the North and South Pole, the oceans are smaller. Duh. And all the continental shelf is exposed. And you can walk to Australia. From here, you could walk from America over to England. You could walk from England to France because the English Channel would dry up just by lowering the ocean, by enlarging the ice caps. Watch my video number 6. I cover all that in great detail on that video number 6, okay? Does Ahab commit, what is that one? I don't know what that is. Tagia, what is that, Rob? When he pretends to be Baal worshiper in order to gather all the Baal worshipers together to kill them. Don't know. Define that word for me, okay? Let's see. Will the rapture happen in 2028? Oh, I don't know. Could, I hope so. Does Ken Hovind official believe that the gargoyles are real? I don't know what you mean by that, William. A lot of buildings in Europe have a gargoyle, which looks like some kind of dragon on the corner of the building to keep the evil spirits away or something. Why would they do that? I covered that in my video number 3 about dinosaurs. Dinosaurs living with man, dinosaurs living all through history with man. So it may be that some of them are representations of a creature that they saw, but they probably got a little carried away with artistic license. Were dinosaurs in the Bible endothermic or ectothermic? Consider that they're large reptiles. I think if you have a perfect world with a crystal canopy over the top with even temperature everywhere, it wouldn't matter. they're endothermic or exothermic, it wouldn't matter. Now today they couldn't live in cold climates. Okay, they have to, most of them live near closer to the equator or warm climate, like our tortoise. We got to have a heat lamp in there in his doghouse to keep him warm. Question: if Genesis says prophecies of Jesus, then how could it not be written by Moses after reading Luke? Or Genesis called just the law of Moses, even if it was not written? Well, Moses edited Genesis together and probably made editorial notes, but he did not write it. Watch my video number 7, Who Wrote Genesis? Genesis is written by 10 eyewitnesses. Moses wrote Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, no question. But he edited Genesis together from previous records. Probably he was vice pharaoh in Egypt, had the largest library in the world, Alexandria Library, had access to all the clay tablets that they had from probably first chapter written by God. Had to be. Nobody else would know the order of creation. We covered that, a couple of nights ago? Yeah, okay. Let's see. Does Ken have an opinion about what's happening in Minnesota this month? It's cold up there. The liberals have just about taken over that state, the Democrats, and it's insane what they're doing. Okay.
Do you know anything about the Board of Peace that's going into effect?
I heard about the Board of Peace that Trump is doing, trying to get peace, and the Bible says it's going to happen. We shall see. Watch for Israel to rebuild that temple. That's coming. Whether it's actually on the Temple Mount next to the Mosque of Omar, it could be. There's 15 open acres there. Or is it, at the other gate down below that, or I don't know.
What do you think about the Smithsonian destroying dinosaur and giant bones?
I don't know if the Smithsonian is destroying them. I'm sure they're hiding them. There's the Great Smithsonian Cover-Up. There's a book about that here somewhere. There. See, they're dedicated to protecting their religion. Anything against their religion's got to be hidden. All religions do that. Okay. Like the Mormons, when you try to explain to them that Joseph Smith copied an already existing book and claimed it was the Book of Mormon, again, a vision from God. Actually, they had a sheet between two trees, and his brother Hiram's on the other side of the sheet. He was reading a few sentences off this book. He'd look around and say that's correct or that's not correct. It was pure plagiarism. No Book of Mormon. Dumb. You can't tell them that. Okay. Taqiyya. Let's see. In Islam, taqiyya, Romanized prudence, is a concept that refers to a Muslim concealing their faith of religious identity to protect themselves. So what was the
permission to lie?
Permission to lie. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. God gave permission to lie. Okay. Yeah.
Anyways, that's all I got.
Okay. Thank you so much. See you tomorrow night.